I was underage, and he had like a baggie of pills. And I was like, what's that? And he's like, oh, it's candy. And I was like, oh, I like candy. So he let me take one. And then like when we got to the club, like, people were acting a little weird. And then when it hit me, I was just like, oh shit, I'm melting. Like I didn't really know how to control my body.
Yeah.
You know, because I had never done that before.
Welcome you and all to another episode of the Global Latin Factor podcast, where we talk about Latino everything. I'm just going to look at you, T. I already said the name. I don't even know which camera, but we're not going to do it. We got a different setup at this time, so bear with me as I'm getting used to this. Today, we have an amazing guest. Again, this is the Global Latin Factor podcast. My name is Crispin Valentin. This is another Exchanging Culture episode. If you have not checked out the other episodes that we have, I suggest you go check it out right now. We have today, and she might not agree with the introduction, but I think she deserves every single thing that I'm about to mention. She's an international DJ, entrepreneur that specializes in e-commerce, content creator, financial professional. She's been DJing for over a decade, 14 years to be exact, or I don't know exactly the date, the birth date. She got here to the United States about a year and a half. She was about a year and a half years old, all the way from Vietnam. Did I get everything correct?
Yeah.
All right. Another Exchanging Culture episode, so I can let Carlos do that graphics. Beep, 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 beep. All right. How you doing today?
Good.
This is a different setup. I'm getting used to it because I'm accustomed to just sitting down and so that way people can tap in the way the podcast is supposed to work.
Okay.
And they'll be all up in our business, listening. So, all right. First, we're going to go ahead and start with a segment that I like to call Preguntas al Chile. If you have not subscribed to the channel, I don't know what you're waiting for. Subscribe to the channel right now so you can check out the graphics. They're going to be updated on our third year. I guarantee. I just got to do a couple of things. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Tacos o tortas?
Tacos.
Corn tortilla or flour tortilla?
Corn, all the way.
All righty. Gorditas or pupusas?
Ooh, that's a hard one. I would say pupusas.
Pupusas?
Yeah.
They go hard. Mexican coca or jarrito? Do you know what those are?
Yeah, Mexican coca.
Yeah. Okay. Agua de horchata, the flavor waters, horchata, jamaica, or tamarindo. Do you know any of those?
I don't drink any of them, but I do know them.
Yeah.
Probably horchata out of all of them, because I've had that the most.
Yeah. Salsa verde, hot sauce, or salsa roja, red sauce? Green sauce or red sauce?
It depends. Like if I'm eating tacos, I'll eat green sauce. But everything else, I'll do red sauce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun fact about T that you already know, and she's very familiar with these dishes because her second language, if I'm not mistaken, was Spanish for a long time.
Yeah, growing up. Mm-hmm.
Growing up. Okay, I'm going to try to say menudo or pozole.
Pozole.
Okay, I'm going to try to say these dishes, Vietnamese dishes. I don't know if I'm going to say it correctly, but hopefully you get it. Pho or bun bo u.
Boom bo way.
Boom bo way. Oh, way off.
Yeah.
Which one would you prefer?
Second one.
The second. Really?
Yeah, it's spicier.
Okay, yeah, because everybody, anybody that you would ask is oh my God, pho this, pho that.
Yeah, it's basic. It's too basic.
Really?
Yeah, but I mean, it hits, but
it hits.
But more flavors, the boom bo way. Yeah.
Ooh, boom bo way. That's the right way to pronounce it.
Mm-hmm.
Chaka or kakotu?
I don't know what you're talking about,
bro. Okay, chaka or kakoto? Kakoto? Is that what it is? I'm going to let you read it.
Which one? Where's
it? Right below the pho. Right below pho.
Chaka. Chako.
Those are supposed to be dishes per Google and the internet.
I don't know what the first one is, so I'm going to go with the second one.
What is the second one exactly?
Wait, let me see it again.
What is the second one exactly?
So braised fish.
Braised fish.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's like a like a homey dish, like comfort food.
Is it like, how would you describe it, like an American equivalent to or close to?
Like braised meat.
Braised meat?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. That's enough of those because I looked them all up.
Butchering.
And I even Googled how to
Say it.
YouTube how to say it. And it just, it didn't work this time. Sorry. My apologies. Vietnamese culture.
You're good.
Don't sue me. Valentina, tapatio or Cholula hot sauce?
I like Tabasco.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Your favorite, I know you like spicy food, so your very, very favorite spicy dish that everybody should try, what would that be?
Oh, man, that's hard because my palate changes all the time.
Really?
Like I just had crawfish. So, like, if you ask me right now, I'd probably say, I don't know, crawfish.
Yeah. Okay. So let's make it easier. Top 3 spicy food. Because you do like spicy.
Yeah.
I remember that's our IG post that you like spicy.
Yeah.
What would be your favorite 2-3 dishes, spicy dishes that is your favorite to you? How about that?
I can't narrow it down, but I can say like Asian food, Mexican food.
As long as it's spicy.
It's spicy, yeah.
I like that. Okay.
Yeah.
Mexican, no dishes, just overall cuisine.
Yeah, like I just, those are probably my top 2 favorites is
Cool.
Asian cuisine and Mexican cuisine.
That's cool.
Yeah, like I love them.
All
Like
right.
I eat it at least once, twice a week.
I don't know if you know what these pastries are. Conchita breads, conchas. They're like little round ones. Look like tortoise shells. There's the brown
Yeah,
ones.
I'm not huge on sweets.
You're not sweet
Yeah.
at all?
Mm-mm. I like boba, but that's it. Like I love juice,
Yeah.
but I'm not huge on sweets.
Fruits?
That's like my dessert.
Okay.
Yeah, but like if you give me like cake and stuff, like I'll eat it, but it's not my first choice.
That's pretty cool. So a conspiracy theory that when you heard, you said it has to be true. So I know the lizard people and what was the other one? It wasn't a conspiracy, more so like something happened to you as far as like sleep paralysis. But
Oh, you're talking about like spirituality?
no, not spirituality, but like a conspiracy theory that you heard one time that you can almost, when you heard it, you said it had to be true. So I know you believe in the lizard people part, but is there any other conspiracies that you think when you heard, I'm like, that has to be real? No way, that's not true.
I don't know, like the assassinations of some of the political figures and stuff like that for gained of power.
Political power?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I like JFK, for example.
Yeah, that was, no way. That was accidental.
That's what I'm saying.
There's just way too many things.
That's what I'm saying,
on.
yeah.
Yeah. And then that's just the ones that we know of, because of course it's the president of the United States, right? But the ones that are lower tier type of people that people don't really know about them that are gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're just kidding. CIA and all them. So what comes to mind when you first hear the word Latino, Latina, Latinx? What first pops into mind when you hear those terms?
Anger issues.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is that because of friends that you have?
I had an ex, the only ex that
is Latina.
that was Latina that I ever dated, and she had like mad anger issues. Like,
why was she so mad?
I don't know. I'll never date another Latina again because of her. Yeah.
She ruined it for you?
Yeah, man.
Was it bad?
It was that bad.
Like physically bad or just screaming bad?
Like all of the above.
Obsessive bad, everything.
All of the above, yeah.
It's not an excuse for us Latinos, but we have a lot of traumas that we deal with, that we haven't dealt with, that we had coming up. And it steers from generations prior to not only her grandparents probably went through some horrible things and her parents didn't do any better and carried on to her. So I hope she finds healing, but not an excuse, but we have a lot of stuff that we still carry for generations that we still need to address.
Right.
So I don't doubt that she was mad and upset and everything else, but Hollywood doesn't help when they portray Latinas like that, because not every woman is like that. But when they do it like that and you run into somebody like that, it's really good to assume that all of them are like that.
Right.
But they're not.
Right.
I'm not saying give a Latina another shot, but I'm just saying maybe it's one off.
Right.
Okay, so all right, tell me a little bit about, well, of course, I know about you. I know your mom journey from Vietnam to, so if my understanding correctly, Vietnam, if you're in Vietnam and you migrate into Vietnam, you first have to make it out of Vietnam to be able to even be sponsored or somebody can sponsor you to be able to make it to the United States. Is that somewhat how it happened to y'all? Like somebody from Vietnam?
I think what happened was we got sponsored by, I think, my aunt.
Correct.
And then we had to be refugees in like Malaysia or Thailand or something like that. I forgot what country. I was only like
Thailand.
Was it Thailand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you talk to her about it? Yeah. Yeah. So it was one of those countries where I think we were refugees for like a week or so, or I don't know how long. And then we ended up in California.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Actually, now that you said Malaysia, it might have been, but I think she said it was Thailand. You stayed there for a bit. Unfortunately, your dad was making plans to meet you, but if I'm not mistaken, I think he might have passed away. I'm not 100% sure because even the family doesn't know about him. So very sorry for your loss. Does she ever tell you how she made it out of Vietnam to get out? Because I know there's a weird journey that they have to go through, like very dangerous, kind of sort of like Mexicans have to cross over the border.
Yeah, like there was several like tries, like her and my dad had tried to escape because it's like communist, you know?
Have to escape, right?
Yeah, you had to escape, and they got caught like both times. So they like would spend time in like Vietnam prison and stuff like that. And then that's actually how she met my dad. Was they both got caught and they went to jail together.
Yeah.
And then so they ended up getting married, and he tried again, and that's when he got lost. And then we actually got sponsored, so we didn't have to go through all that hardship because she had me. You know, she's not going to try to like immigrate illegally, and something happens to me or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I meant not just Mexicanos that cross over the border, but other immigrants from South America that crossed over, not just us Mexicanos, somebody else. So don't get your panties in a bunch if you hear me. It's like, we're not only Mexicans. I'm just saying, calm down. I know. Okay. All right. So yeah, it's trippy to me. When I realized what it takes from somebody from Vietnam out of communist to escape, having to like talk about, in the middle of the night, be very quiet. There's people patrolling all the time, and you having to get out and make sure they don't catch you because they'll throw you in jail. Luckily, they only threw her in jail because I heard worse. Like sometimes they just shoot you on the spot.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So like that's why I guess I'm, very grateful and everything that she sacrificed for.
Absolutely.
And it's just not her. It's the majority of the people back then too.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
we like as Asians too. We also have like generational trauma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so y'all make it to California, right? Remind me again the area.
San Diego.
So San Diego is in the actual hood. Y'all were in the hood for some time.
No, we were in a really nice area.
Nice.
Yeah, we were in a really nice area, kind of near the San Diego Zoo.
Yeah.
We stayed with like my aunt and my uncles and my cousins and stuff like that. And then my mom was a single mom, so she would go to school full time and go to work full time.
Wow.
Like just and also trying to learn a new language and stuff like that. So like she has also a brother who lived in the hood. So they would kind of alternate babysitting me. So that's kind of how I learned Spanish, was because his baby mama was Hispanic. So she would babysit me. And so when I started school, I was speaking like half Vietnamese, half Spanish. They actually threw me in ESL because I didn't speak really good English.
If you don't know what ESL is, English as a second language, I had to go to ESL too.
Did you? Yeah.
I had to go for a couple of years. So how many years did you do ESL for?
I think just a year.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Then you started getting English? And
Yeah.
that was it? So no English whatsoever when you went to school? Or very minimal?
Like minimal. Because at home, it's like they speak Vietnamese or Spanish. Yeah. If I'm with my uncle, then his baby mom would speak Spanish to me.
Yeah.
Because she didn't speak English either.
Yeah. How would you say your childhood was for you? What is some of the most memorable things that you remember growing up? I mean, you grew up in a nice area with Mexican or Hispanic lady that spoke Spanish, but then of course you also have Vietnamese. What are some of the memories that bring happiness to you when you go back and trace back, like how you grew up?
I mean, I was a '90s kid. Like back then, we weren't like iPhone kids. Like like the internet was barely popping up. So like me and my cousins, we would just go hang out outside,
Yeah,
play outside. Like I don't know, walk around the neighborhood, go to the nearby park, like Balboa Park, which is really massive, really famous in San Diego.
Nice.
It was like walking distance within our neighborhood. So we would, go there over there as kids, really.
Yeah. Your mom talks great about you as far as you being a great kid. However, you and I have something very in common. Apparently, even though now she's your best friend, I think you might have run away a few times from the house. Did you run away?
Did I? No.
Yeah. I think she said she mentioned that. Yeah, I got into something and you ran away. I actually ran away a few times from the house.
I don't remember running away.
Yeah? Okay. Maybe she. Well, what she said that. Maybe she was like. But yeah, I think she said that. But maybe
no,
not.
I didn't run away.
Yeah. Anyways, scratch that. You were a good kid overall. But you wanted to be a doctor, or you wanted to. I don't know where you picked it up from. That you want to be a doctor. Do you remember that?
Yeah. So I had always known since I was 6 that I wanted to be a doctor.
Mm.
And it wasn't like the traditional Asian parent wanting you to be a doctor or like an engineer or like
Right.
anything or like.
Talk to me when you doctor.
I actually just wanted to be a doctor because
Where did you pick it up from?
I don't remember. I just remember as early as 6. I think like someone gifted me that game Operation,
Yeah.
and I thought it was so cool.
Yeah.
And I've always kind of been like a biology nerd,
Yeah.
and like I don't know, just from there.
So you go actually attempt to be a doctor, but something happens that just it's not for you anymore. What happened?
So I went to college. Like I studied school. Like in my head, like, oh, I'm gonna be a doctor.
Yeah.
And then when I did college, I did pre-med as well. Graduated with a biology degree, and the finance business actually fell in my lap.
So was this all in California? Or was it already here in
Here
Texas?
in Texas, yeah.
When did you arrive here in Texas? What
I
area was it?
came here when I was like 13, 12, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And was it here in the Dallas area? What area?
Mansfield.
So you were in Mansfield.
Yeah.
So you went to school over there.
In Mansfield.
And for college, you also went here around the area?
UTA.
UTA?
Yeah.
Okay.
TCC and UTA.
So you going to college, you find financial education lands in your lap, and you start focusing on that. Are you partying at the time already, or not necessarily?
Right. Yeah. So when I first started college, I was really sheltered growing up because, in Asian traditional household, if you're like the only girl, they're going to be like super strict. My mom was really strict when I was growing up. And then, so I didn't ever like really go out and party or anything. So when I entered college, I started making more friends. And it's funny because I didn't even hang out with Asians back then. I like was super whitewashed in high school. This is like Mansfield. Yeah, Mansfield, So when I went to UTA or TCC, it was like I saw a lot more Asian people. And so it was kind of cool to like culturally connect.
Yeah.
And then, Asians, we party.
When you say you party, like how hard do y'all party, and do y'all really drink a lot, or just in general just
Okay, so my first time ever going out to a club, I was underage. And it was like my older friends.
Mhm.
So I like was just joking around, and I was like, "Hey, you're gonna buy me drinks, right?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'll get you water and orange juice." And at the time, I didn't get that reference because I was like, "What are you talking about?" And the club that we were going to wasn't a traditional club. It was Lizard Lounge. We were going to a rave.
Yes, a rave.
So I was such a newbie to the party scene. I didn't
Yeah.
know rave culture or anything like drugs or anything like that. And then he had like a baggie of pills, and I was like, "What's that?" And he's like, "Oh, it's candy." And I was like, "Oh, I like candy."
Are you serious?
Yeah. So he let me take one, and then like when we got to the club, like, I just like that was the first time I ever like took ecstasy. So when I say we party.
That kind of party.
Yeah. So like that was my first time ever like in a club. So
What do you remember about that time for the first time you tried some? It was literally out of like innocence, a little bit of
Mhm.
ignorance because you were sheltered.
very naive back then.
Very naive.
Yeah, very naive.
But they give
yeah.
it to you. When did they click on you that it's not candy?
I mean, I don't know if you've ever been to Lizard Lounge. I mean,
Yeah.
it's closed now.
Years ago,
Yeah,
yes.
it's closed now, but
2 floors, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
We went for this DJ name. His name is Darude Sandstorm.
Yeah. Oh, that's him?
Yeah.
The Sandstorm song guy?
Yeah.
Tickety-tickety, tickety-tickety. Put it in, Carlos.
Yeah. So was it Sandstorm? I don't know. I think it was Darude.
Yeah.
But I don't know, just the whole environment was different. And then people were acting a little weird. And then when it hit me, I was just like, oh shit, I'm melting. Like I didn't really know how to control my body.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, because I had never done that before.
I never done or indulged, but I heard your senses simplify a lot whenever you're in it.
like 100 times.
100 times.
And like and back then it's like we call it Pokeballs. So they're like the real OG like ecstasy tabs. But mine was like a triple stack, so it's like 3 pills in one. So it was like extremely strong.
For your first time too.
And I didn't know, yeah. So I didn't know there's like stages of when you're on the drug. So like
There's a come down.
So when it peaks, it like really, it's like a roller coaster, right? So when it goes up, you're like really peaking, like really like it hits you hard. And that's where I was like melting, and I was like, I can't move my legs, basically. And then so it's like a roller coaster, so it kind of went away. So it wasn't hitting as hard. So my mistake was I told my friend, I was like, I think it's going away. And he's like, it's going away. So he gives me another one.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so that sucked because the come down like really, really sucked.
You can't expect him to run around all day.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, first of all, we don't say no to drugs.
Yeah.
That's just what happened.
That's just
At
what
that
happened.
one time
yeah.
of her experience.
Yeah.
Okay, so no alcohol whatsoever, but y'all party until 2:00, right? Because here in Texas or the Dallas
No,
area,
we like that night they took me to an after party too, so I didn't get home till like 8 a.m.
what did you? So
And when I came home, my dad was like looking at, because he was like outside watering the yard, and he was like, "Are you drunk? Like, why are you home so late or something like that?" And I was like still rolling
So you were actually still staying with your parents and
at
you
the
went
time in
home?
college. Uh-huh.
Wow. And then what did your mom say?
She was pissed. She's pissed because like I said, like I was in a really sheltered household, and I wasn't like before then, like I wasn't allowed to be out past like 10 p.m.
So how old were you at that time? 18, 19?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So you find out you want to do the studying doctor, but then you find financial education. But all those people around there were doing some similar things, partying in the financial industry, or not yet?
No, so that came later actually. So that was my first time actually just going out.
Nice.
And then I developed like a crew, you know? I start partying more and more every weekend. And it got to the point where like my mom, she couldn't really say anything to me because I was just going out so much now. Yeah, and I was building up my DJing career as well, and my nightlife like career and stuff like that, because I was also I started to promote as well.
So in 2010,
Mm-hmm.
are you already fully into the actual promotion crew yet, or not?
I want to
yet?
say by the following year, the year after that.
Okay.
It's kind of so long ago.
All right. Yeah. It's been a minute. So 2010 technically is when you begin actually DJing, right? So the story goes, one of the promoters notices that you and your whole crew roll deep, 15, 20 deep into the club. So of course they like that because,
It's people.
It's people.
Yeah.
They want to have the club. And but previously, before, you already been hanging around with the DJs. Was there anything that while you were in the DJ booth chilling with the DJs that kind of sparked curiosity about DJing at all whatsoever at the time? Because the promoter asked you, how can I get you to work with me? And you said, I want to be a DJ, because he offered cocktail waitresses or whatever, but you declined and you said, I want to DJ. Was there anything prior to, before you even accepted or saying I want to be a DJ, that you saw in the DJ booth that might inspire you to want to pursue DJing?
I mean, I've always loved music. You know, music has just been the best kind of therapy for me.
Yeah.
And every time like I would just hang out in the DJ booth, I would actually watch like my friends like DJ, and I just thought it was so interesting. And I would, like kind of want to like they would ask me like, oh, do you want to try? And I'll be like, oh, like, but obviously they would be right behind me, make sure it doesn't like, mess up or anything like that. So after I got a little taste of that, I was like, oh, I really want to like try more, but I didn't have any of like my own equipment. The only time that I would actually, quote unquote practice was when I was there in the clubs, with my
Yeah.
friends, and they would let me like play a song with the assistants
Okay.
like being right behind me.
So at that time, is your ear already trained as to what you're hearing for, as far as the transitions, how you're gonna be transitioning at the
Mm-mm.
time? It doesn't even make sense at that
Nope.
moment. 2010, he gives you, the promoter says, fine, you're gonna do it. Wednesday, you start your DJing.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have no equipment.
Nope.
Your friends let you borrow their equipment, DJ friends. What is it like to? First of all, when he says, "Okay, let's do it Wednesday," are you really like, let's do it, or you're like hesitating? We're like, well, I need to practice a little bit because I don't really know
Probably
how to DJ.
both, but it was kind of one of those opportunities where it's like, well, I can't really pussy out now, you know?
Yeah. So you jump in it. All right, put me that day. How does your day work? You get there about what time? Probably 8, 9 o'clock.
No,
Earlier? Later?
10,
You get there about 10.
10, yeah.
And everything's set up for you. You have to set
Mhm.
up everything up.
No,
Okay.
I was
You were a
spoiled.
diva.
I was a diva, yeah.
So you get there. Somebody. I'm guessing is playing something already.
Yeah.
Prior to your friends.
hmm
So you start getting into it, and once you're there, are they pretty much coaching you through what to do?
I mean, yeah, it's basically like he lined up the song and he's like, just play this next song. And I was like, okay, but I wasn't familiar with his music. As a DJ, you need to be familiar with the music so you know when the transition is and all that stuff.
Right.
And I was just like, I don't know this song. So I just tried to like transition into it and it was just like not happening.
Thank you so much for being here today and checking out this amazing episode. Make sure you go and subscribe to the channel and leave a comment and a like. And now back to the episode.
Okay, so whenever DJs do that, they call it train wrecking because you're just not matching the beat. Nothing's
yeah.
going right.
Yeah.
So he's just pretty much giving you a playlist and you're just playing the songs.
Yep.
At that time.
Mhm.
How was the crowd? Was there anybody that was like, what the heck is going on?
Yeah, probably.
Because a lot of the people were your people.
Mhm.
Because pretty much, 15, 20 people were your or more.
No, there
Are
was
your
like 200
homies-
people.
It was 200 people
Yeah, in a burger joint.
in a burger joint.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So how are you feeling when you're feeling miserably? Like, this is it for me?
I mean, it was whatever. Like it just everyone was there to support me. They were all my friends,
Yeah.
you know, and I train direct, but I mean, honestly, half of the room was like so drunk. I don't think they even noticed.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
a good thing.
Yeah.
Okay, for another person, for example, if you go through that experience and you fail miserably, you suck so bad,
hmm
you know you did,
hmm
that it will maybe discourage you not to do it again. But what make you want to keep going, knowing that?
I had so much fun that night. Yeah. From what I remember, it was so long ago, but from what I remember, like I still had a blast.
Yeah.
So
But then other people start reaching out because I know you've seen in the industry there was no Asian female DJs. There's
Mhm.
lesbian
hmm
at all whatsoever.
mhm.
So were you the very first one in the entire DFW?
I would say so.
In the entire
'cause
DFW area?
I
you
would
think
say so. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome. And that was one of your goals, right? Whenever you start
Mhm.
DJing, to be that representation for
It's very niche. Yeah.
very, very niche.
Mhm.
Okay. So even though it was fun, is that really what kept you going to try to keep doing it? Or was it the fact that you
I
were,
mean, I was just happy partying and getting paid to party at this point, and now, I'm a quote unquote DJ, and even though like I was, a baby at it, but it's just the more and more I did it, the better and better I got too,
Yeah.
and then the more recognition I started to getting from it too.
was it the money somewhat reasonable for
No,
what
hell
you were
no.
doing?
It was like $100 a night, bro. It wasn't the money.
What about your guest list at all? Any money on that either? Because usually promoters work out a guest list and per person.
to
that breaks
me,
it
I
out.
think at the time it wasn't even about the money. It was just having fun.
Yeah.
Having fun and being in an environment.
There's something about being in the DJ booth that makes you feel more cool than everybody else that can't get in the DJ booth. You're just chilling and just.
I mean, that was
watching
part of
everybody.
another reason because I didn't want to be out in the crowd with the peasants.
True that. So whenever I first started MCing or even doing mic or
Mhm.
radio, internet radio, I fell in love with the mic, knowing that somebody, if I played a song, somebody was like in tune. It was like, oh, that's my jam, and I don't know, it felt really good for me.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever you were DJing, I know you mentioned before the crowd, the controlling of the crowd, how you can make them feel. Is that part of the things that kept you, besides the fun, besides enjoying, having a great time, was that part of the things that kept pushing you to keep doing it?
Yeah. Like the better that I got, especially the music back then, it was
Mhm.
actually music that I actually enjoyed listening to.
Nice.
I would say like rap music now is not as good. even EDM and pop music, but back in the early like 2000s, it was fire, man.
Yeah.
So it was just like I got to play the music that I wanted to listen to. Everyone loved it too, and like we had like venues where it was like 2,000 people, 3,000 people packed out, and they're all just grooving to the music.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me about your name. So at the very first gig, did you even did they put you in the flyer? Do you have an official name? Is there a particular name that you're going by at that time?
Yeah, so I had always gone by like T-REXX. Like that's just what everybody knows me as. And back then, because I was the baby of the group, whenever I joined this promotion group, it was mostly all guys in there. I was the only girl, especially only female DJ.
Yeah.
So these are all the guys that I would use their equipment or their music, and they would like help me during my gigs. So I was the baby of the group. So it was, they dubbed me DJ Baby Rex.
DJ Baby Rex.
Uh-huh.
And that went in for how many years that you were not only the name, but using your homies' equipment before you started getting and investing on your own equipment?
I can't exactly remember. I want to say maybe like for 6 years.
Wow.
Yeah. I can't tell you like when I actually got my own equipment. I think it was like a couple years after that.
Yeah.
Because I was just kind of riding the coattails of everyone. It sounds very like awful to say, but it's the truth.
I mean, no, because it puts you in a vulnerable position, right? That you wanted to, it's great that you had a great support system with the homies.
Yeah.
But it's crazy that you, even at the gig, you were technically still practicing, but getting better at it.
Yeah. Because I'm practicing in fronts of like hundreds, thousands of people,
Yeah.
But it was so cool because it was just like the community of people that I all knew. So to me, I didn't feel weird about it or anything like that. It's just like back then we used to club like 5 times a week. So you would see the same people every night,
5 times a week.
So it's like I pretty much, it's like a huge party with all your friends. So I didn't feel embarrassed or anything. Like even if I did mess up, like nobody said anything.
Yeah. Okay. So 6 years. Is it for you whenever you buy your very first like controller? Is it like whenever whenever you're a kid and get your favorite present and you kind of tuck it in with in bed with you and kind of like baby it and love it? Was it something like that for you? Your very first equipment, your very first controller, or nothing like that?
No, I don't remember it like that.
Really?
I remember like when I had bought my equipment, I bought it off Craigslist actually.
Really?
And it was like at the time it was like a newer controller. It was like the controller of that year. So for me to find it for that price and it had a custom skin on it, it was like unbelievable. Like so it was funny because like when I rolled up to the guy to pick it up, he thought I was a dude, so he kept saying like, "Yeah, bro, like I'll be out, man." And then whenever he like comes out and he sees that it was me,
yes,
he was like, "Oh,
yes,
here you go, yeah." So that was kind of funny.
That's crazy. That's funny. Okay, so when does the evolution of you doing away with the baby and becoming T-REXX? Because I seen it spelled T and then Rex, 2 X's, and then I see it spelled THI and then Rex. Which was the way that you're doing it now, or it's always been? Oh, it is T-REXX. It's just the way that you do it on social media is different.
I think it was like more like the name wasn't available issue. Like, so I rebranded myself and I was kind of going through like different marketing techniques and stuff like that. And so it went from Baby Rex to T-REXX without the H. So it's just like TREXX. And then when I tried to, when I tried to find it on like Instagram or something like that, like it wasn't available. And so like that's why it's kind of spelled a little different on my Instagram right now.
Yeah.
And then also my TikTok.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you spell it with THI and
THI because the TREXX wasn't available or something like that. Yeah.
Why did they call you T-REXX? Why was it the Rex? Where did the name and the nickname come from?
So that dates back to like when MySpace was around.
Yeah.
And I needed a username. It was either that or T-Thizzle.
But why?
I love Jurassic Park.
So that's why.
Yeah, Jurassic Park is one of my favorite.
I was going to say, you don't have little arms.
No.
You don't have like
no.
small arms to be able to, so you like T-REXXs, and that's pretty cool. I always, back in the days, I used to post all those memes about the T-REXXs with them little
with the
artificial.
arms. Yeah.
I have a bunch of them still.
Yeah.
I'm gonna send them to you because there's a bunch of them. Okay, so you continue maneuvering. You're learning now. You're in the game for about 6 years. You got your own equipment. And when does the international DJing comes to be? You're still with that crew for some time, and I don't know if they lead you to become international and start traveling around the world, or how does that come about?
At this point, it was like 2016,
Mm-hmm.
2017, and by this time, like I had already DJ'd all over Dallas. I've done festivals, big corporate events and stuff like that. So like the next thing on my bucket was like DJing overseas, because at that point,
Yeah.
like I started traveling a lot, and I was like, oh, it would be really cool to DJ overseas, and just because like at that time I was getting bigger in the DJ scene and the the nightlife industry.
Nice.
I was already traveling overseas, so I was talking to my business partner at the time,
Mhm.
and I was just like, how could I like DJ overseas? Like, who do you know anyone that I could like reach out to? And
Yeah.
to me, it's like all about connections, So he actually knew someone overseas, and then like that kind of just like was like the blueprint of everything, because I was visiting like 5 different cities, so I just made it up because I knew some people out in Asia, so I made it a point just to reach out, like it's who you know.
Yeah. So you let them know you're a DJ. You're looking forward to seeing and are all these trips and everything else getting funded by the DJing
No.
at that time?
So because I was already going there, how I kind of pitched myself overseas was like, hey, I already have airfare and hotel, and that's like the biggest cost,
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, you just need to pay me for my set. So it was just like extra spending money over there, which is nice. Yeah.
That's what's up. Is that with the financial education, or was it separate that you were doing it, or you were visiting family?
No, I was just on vacation.
And what area were you at that time in Asia?
North Vietnam, South Vietnam, Tokyo, Thailand, Singapore. Yeah.
All those places you were DJing, you
Uh-huh.
DJ at.
Uh-huh.
And where else? Anywhere in Europe?
Not
Also?
Europe yet.
Not
no.
yet?
But Asia. Yeah, Asia.
So what is the biggest crowd that you have DJ for here in the Dallas area or DFW or even in the States, and the biggest crowd over there in Asia?
Biggest crowd here is like, I mean, I've done festivals, so it's like thousands of people, and like even like just like our Asian parties that we used to throw back then,
Mm-hmm.
like special events, it would be like thousands of people.
Wow.
Like we would pack out. The biggest venue that we had was at the Wyndham. I don't know if you're familiar with that
Yeah,
hotel. The Wyndham,
yeah,
they used to have a club in part of that hotel,
Really?
and it could pack out like 3,000 to 4,000 people in that club area, and we would pack it out.
Yeah, we'll pack it out.
Mm-hmm.
Dang. What about Asia? What was the biggest crowd you ever did?
I mean, I just did regular clubs over
Yeah.
there, so it wasn't like massive, But yeah, it was just like regular club.
Was it like a big different sensation for you to be DJing over there as far
It
as
was
here?
to me, it was little adjustment because their music is a little behind.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I sent in my like mix or something like that to one of the promoters, and he had mentioned that they're a little bit behind on music, and I think the music that I sent was like 2 years old, and he was like, "Oh, this is still like underground
Are
music."
you serious?
And I was like, are you for real? And he's like, yeah, like we're really late on our music, so I had to play like 5-10 years old music.
Are you kidding?
Yeah,
me?
because like some of the stuff that I was playing, even though it was old to us, like they haven't heard it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go back and touch up on a part that I think is important for people, especially maybe in the community, in your community,
Mhm.
the Vietnamese community, or somebody that's. So you were the first lesbian DJ
Mhm.
female here.
Mhm.
Okay, for me, like Mexicano, things that I've seen on TV, whenever I think of somebody that's Asian or from the Asian community, from very traditional, very kind of sort of like conservative,
Mhm.
but I don't know if lesbian can fit into that as that community or that thing. Is that something that you had to deal with? Did you had any kind of backlash or name calling or whatever the case might be
When I became a
when I
DJ,
became a DJ, when you came out, then they knew that you were lesbian?
yeah. So I've always kind of like march to the beat of my own drum.
Right.
I believe like being authentic to yourself is really important.
Right.
I can't stand being fake, you know?
Right.
So I've always just been really true to myself, and to me that was like the hook for everyone, because not only was I a like a Asian female DJ, but I was also a lesbian as well. So it was like I didn't get any backlash from that, and sometimes I feel like it's almost like a double standard, because I feel like if it was somebody else, they might have, you know. So I don't know.
So no problem booking whatsoever. It actually made them want to book even more,
Right.
Because you, for whatever reason,
Right.
that was something attractive to them. Okay, what about at home and your mom and everybody else? Is there anything like that that they're frowned upon because you're this, because you're that?
Thankfully, like my parents are very understanding and welcoming. I actually didn't want to come out to my parents because I thought that like my parents would disown me. My mom actually made me come out.
She kind of already knew, right?
She like, okay, so like I had like my first girlfriend, and me and my first girlfriend broke up, so I was like super heartbroken. And I was like really like on the DL, like, oh, I don't want anyone to know. I don't want my parents to know, like anything like that, right? But my mom, like, I mean, mother's intuition, you know, so she was just like, you know, just like, it's okay, like it's a phase. And I was like,
no.
I was like, I don't know, still gay, mom.
To this day,
Till this day, still gay, mom.
Okay, so I heard something about in the same subject. I heard something on a interview that you talked about that, you know, dating for you is very interesting nowadays. You date very seriously with intentions. You don't try to waste nobody's time, and you want a family. How is that for you when you talk about that? You talking about as you having a baby, or adoption, or the person, your partner, having a baby?
Yeah, so
that's just ignorance on my part and
no,
curiosity.
it's okay. Yeah, sure. It's I really want kids in a really unconventional way, I guess.
Yeah.
I myself, I don't want to carry. I do want my own biological kids though, because I just like I suffer from like body dysmorphia. Like I actually thought I was going to be transgender growing up. So
really,
yeah. So it was like something that I had to deal growing up with, and then figuring out like just like in general navigating my sexuality growing up was really confusing and really like mentally draining. And then to accept myself as like just being queer, you know, because like I grew up in a really religious Baptist household.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to be condemned to hell, you know. I didn't want, and then, you know, of course everyone wants to fit into society as well, you know. Like if I could be straight and be normal and in the normal standard of societal perception, you know, like why would you want to go against the grain, you know? But it's just who I am. So I myself, like, even though I still struggle with like body dysmorphia and stuff like that. So I don't think I could mentally handle bearing children myself. So I would want my partner to carry my eggs.
No surrogate, just your partner.
My partner, yeah.
Okay.
My partner.
All right. I was just curious about that part.
Yeah.
You know, first of all, I'm sorry to hear about that. I don't know how troublesome it was, how severe it got to you that you had to deal with that and still dealing to this day. So, you know, I hope that, you know, you find healing, and you're a very pretty girl. Just like your mom's, you're a beautiful girl. You're a beautiful human being. As far as what I'm able to see, you do come off as don't want to talk to nobody in the beginning when you first meet you, but once you warm up, you're super nice. Awesome,
yeah,
amazing.
I like to observe people. Yeah. I don't know. I guess I've just always kind of been like that.
Hey, to each your own.
Yeah.
Sometimes, not everybody's like freaking social butterfly all the time immediately. You know what I mean? I'm the same way sometimes. I just feel like more recently I've been more of like jokey to everybody, but then some people are not welcoming to the jokey part.
Right.
So you just gotta be like, okay,
right, yeah,
hi, how you doing?
Yeah.
Bye. But yeah, no, you're very, very cool. Overall, in general, I think you have a very interesting life. And then again, just the physical part in general, you look great. So doing the transition of the DJing, kind of sort of within that, you become somewhat of a restaurant owner with the management agreement or management understanding as well, right?
Right. Yeah. So the same guy that I was working with in the club industry.
Yeah.
You know, we wanted to just be bigger. Like I've always had big dreams,
Right.
you know, and that's something that's really important to me. And that's to me, like, also when it comes to dating, it's like I can't be with someone who doesn't dream as big as me.
Yeah.
You know, I need them to meet me there. So I always have like ideas or like how I can improve myself, or like, you know, what can I, you know, I don't know, just more. I just want more.
Absolutely.
And so yeah, we got into the restaurant business, and you know, we were lucky that we didn't have to put down like any money and stuff like that, but we were still able to be like partners in it.
That's great.
So we had the first Asian fusion restaurant in Las Colinas that sold lobster pho.
What?
Yeah. So we had the
Lobster
most
pho.
expensive pho in DFW, but people from, you know, all over the Metroplex still came out and ate our pho. It was a time that it was a little bit too unique for that time. I think if we would have done it now, it would have been more successful. But back then, it was just like just the concept of it was just like too kind of far out there. And then just like owning a business like a brick and mortar is very difficult too. So
It's a lot of overhead, a lot of stuff that you have. to
our
do to
restaurant
be able
was
to make it.
huge. So
Wow.
yeah, and it was in Las Colinas.
What was the price point at the time for the pho, the lobster pho? Was it way too crazy price? Or yeah, it was still,
$35.
yeah,
$35.
not bad if you have lobster.
I mean, you had a whole pound lobster.
Gee.
Yeah.
Where did the idea come to do that? Like who came up with that?
I mean, to be honest, I can't say that I came up with the idea. I think I just saw it on like Facebook one day. Like somebody else had it in Vegas, but they were charging like $75 or something.
You
like that.
wanted to implement that, and that y'all spent
Yeah,
it too.
yeah,
That's cool.
yeah. So I kind of not stole the idea, but I was like, we don't have anything cool like that in Texas, you know. So when that opportunity kind of fell in my lap, I was like, hey, how come we should do something like this? It's kind of different, you know.
See, I don't understand sometimes because somebody else is doing it somewhere else, and there's a lack here.
Mhm.
Why wouldn't you want to do the same thing?
Right.
It's not like it's rights of you the only
Like, yeah,
one.
I didn't like steal his recipe or
Yeah,
anything like that.
yeah,
you know? It was
exactly.
our own recipe, but
your own recipe.
the concept was the same. Yes,
You know, it's just like everything else though. Like DJing,
it's all the same. Yeah.
you know what I mean? It's the same thing.
Mhm.
DJing, artists, everything else. We get inspiration from a painting or whatever, and all of a sudden you just begin doing your thing. So you know, just your own way, your own creation,
Right.
without intentions to you to stealing their idea, but
Right.
you making your own thing. You know,
Absolutely.
So, is my collar up? Am I good?
Yeah.
Am I good?
Oh, you gotta.
Damn, Carlos never tells me about my collar. Don Carlos. All right. So at that time, you did financial education for some time, but you also dive into e-commerce. How does that work out? How do you find about e-commerce? And there's a particular thing that you do, private labeling, if not, or what is it
Right.
called?
Yeah. So I like to work smarter, not harder.
Mhm.
I have a particular lifestyle that I want to attain. I'm not much of like a corporate person, like straight up 9 to 5. If you tell me that I had to be in office all day, I'd probably tell you to like go screw yourself.
Did you try it?
I mean, that's what I kind of had to do with the financial education at the beginning,
And it wasn't for you.
and it wasn't for you. It wasn't for me. So I kind of put that on the back burner
Mhm.
and did my other projects, you know.
Yeah.
And e-commerce. I mean, just researching a lot. It's just like it's. If you're using platforms like Amazon, Spotify, or
Yeah.
not Spotify,
Shopify.
Shopify. I'm
Mhm.
sorry. It's
Okay.
it's like they kind of do everything for you. So that's what drew me into e-commerce.
Who introduced you to that? Where did you see it? Did you see a video? Did somebody tell you
Yeah,
about it?
just online.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Online, you started looking at how Shopify and Amazon works,
Mm-hmm.
and all of a sudden you started implementing your own stuff. Pretty
Mhm.
much, they like you said, they do everything for you, but you just have to be the one that promotes everything, right?
Right.
So according to your lifestyle, you kind of accustom some of maybe the items that you have that you represent on your post, and then put it out to people to buy it. Is that kind of how it works? or
No,
not
I
really?
actually don't even promote the stuff that I sell,
Really.
which is kind of fun. I should, but it's like it's more so like the idea of making money while I slept
Okay.
really intrigued me, especially like with the Amazon platform. It's like they deal with the customer service, they deal with the shipping. I actually just have to buy the inventory, I ship it to their warehouse, and I slap my brand logo on my stuff, and it's my brand, you know?
Is there a licensing that you need for that particular or not? Nothing. Okay. And then, okay, so I do print on demand
Mhm.
with Amazon.
Mhm.
So all the Global Land Factor podcast shirts, they're going to be posting here all over the place very soon, all the time, because I slacked. They do everything for me too, except for all I did is upload the graphics, and they do everything
So
else.
similar.
Something, the same thing.
So yeah, similar. So with me, it's just my own personal brand. Like, so it's like if I sold coffee mugs, it would just have my logo on it, and that's my own brand.
Really? That's cool. And what is it called on Shopify and Amazon?
It's different brands. Yeah, I can't even tell you. I have a couple.
And you sell everything, right? You
Yeah,
sell
it's like random stuff, like baby blankets, like electronics, to like home stuff. Like, it's just random stuff that makes sense data wise.
And to get started on that, let's say, for example, platform like Amazon, do you have to, like, for example, for print on demand, I had to apply, they have to approve me, and once I'm approved, then I can go ahead and begin. Is that similar to the same thing with e-commerce?
Yes. Like, the thing with e-commerce is it's with especially private label, it's like you have to have a lot of liquidation up front.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you do have to have some capital in the beginning.
Yeah, it's a lot of capital in the beginning.
Yeah.
And it's not a little bit of capital. I want to say like $5,000 to $10,000.
So $5,000 to $10,000 to get you going. So at that time, you saw everything, you took a risk, you had that capital, and you put it into use to be able to create your own.
My own brand,
and when did you start it started making sense for you? Because I'm pretty sure it's still new for you. I know you joined a bunch of groups, Facebook groups. Is that somewhat of what helped you to keep ramping up your brand and selling?
Yeah. So it's just, to me, like, I always feel like it's really important to invest in yourself. And if you have a business, obviously you need to invest in your business, you know?
Right.
So I even hired like a coach, like FBA, like mentor.
FBA?
I forgot what it stands for. It's FBA is where you buy something and then they do everything for you. FBM is let's say like they buy something off your listing, you're the one that has to ship it in. Yeah.
So FBA, you don't have to worry about that.
You just ship yourself into the warehouse and then they handle everything.
And I'm assuming because they do everything, they took a little bit of a higher cut than if you was to do it
there's
yourself.
fees. There's like storage fees. There's like fees for that too.
That's cool. So how lucrative is this for you to be able to do it like this? Does it keep you afloat? Does it keep you with the lifestyle that you like? Because if you see your Instagram, you're always looking nice, suits, hat, everything. You know, you look great. It looks great. Is that kind of sort of because of the lifestyle that you have created with this business? For how long have you done it for?
Only like a year.
Only like a year. Wow. But this is what you do pretty much full time for the most part.
It sustains my lifestyle, and then also I still DJ on the side, and then now I'm back into financial industry, so that's been taking up a lot of my time, but I feel like it's more fulfilling.
That's great. Okay, so right now in the DJing, so you're gonna continue to grow that e-commerce.
It's kind of like on autopilot right now.
Okay.
I'm not really putting too much work into it. Like, honestly, like, you just have to set it up and make sure that like your marketing is good and advertising, and then making sure that you have inventory at this point.
Advertise it in Amazon?
In Amazon. They have their own advertisement, yeah.
So you do it through there, and they do all that. And then, of course, you just have to make sure there's a spreadsheet that you have to kind of monitor inventory, make sure that you're not lacking, or you start to sell it even more.
Right.
Then when do you dictate when you want to introduce a new product? Do you kind of study the market a little bit and see, and then go for that?
Yeah, like I'll give you an example. Like, one of my products right now, I'm just trying to liquidate it at this point because it's not selling as great, but I still got to make my money back. So, you know, maybe I'll drop the price or whatever like that, right? Just to make sure that it runs out of inventory. And then from there, I'll just kind of look for another product to replace that.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah. So that's the passive thing that you do.
Passive income.
Where you set it up once, making sure everything's good, and within the promotion, everything, and making sure that it still works for you.
Yeah.
And you just got to monitor it so often and get them checks in.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the DJing, where are you DJing at the moment at this time?
Right now, I have a Saturday residency at Common Table over in McKinney. And then I actually have a meeting after this. Maybe I have another venue out on Fridays in Dallas.
Okay. Best of luck. You need a booker. She's great. I've been to Common Table. Pretty chill place.
Yeah.
Very chill place
Yeah.
if you want to relax, enjoy some tunes, have drinks. They have very unique cocktails and stuff like that I've seen,
Mm-hmm.
and their food is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, of course, I'm vegan, but I had fries. Fries were amazing.
Okay.
Okay, so let's touch up on the financial education. Previously, before this is your second time around, you had seen it before. More at that time when they were doing it, they wanted to structure more like a 9 to 5, but you found out it's not for you.
Mhm.
Now it's a little bit different. What made you want to get into financial education?
My mom.
Mm-hmm.
My mom was a nail tech for as long as I can remember, and she didn't want to do nails anymore, and she just remembered like, hey, you remember when you were doing the financial services?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. And she's like, do you think I could do that? And I was like, yeah. So, she got her license, and she started making money her first week, and she was like, I want to build an agency. Like, a lot of people, like, can you help me build it?
Mm-hmm.
And at first I was kind of like reluctant. I was like, I'll help you, but don't ask me to like show up to all the meetings. Don't ask me to like be there 9 to 5, which I'm not,
Yeah.
But it's the structure and the leadership is a lot different this time around.
Right.
So I enjoy it a lot
You
better.
enjoy it a lot.
Yeah.
What did you feel for you the first time and even the second time that you knew it was important to be able to educate people in regards to finances, personal finances, that maybe you didn't get taught or that you like that you want to keep telling people about it?
The first time around, I would say I was a little bit more distracted because I just
Mhm.
had so much going on. Like I was
Right.
still in school, I was DJing, and then I was more focused on having fun,
Mm-hmm.
And so, I remember I would just like kind of show up to the meetings, like still drunk.
Wow.
And it sucked, man. But I showed up, but it's just like I said, like before, it was the lack of leadership versus now. Now it's like, I'm a little bit more responsible. Like I own my own home. I take care of my dog. Like there's a dependent on me.
Yeah.
I help my family with their bills, and so it's like I have a lot more weighing on me. So it's like and just just being older, it's just like we're more interested in like retirement investments.
Yeah.
When you're in your early 20s, you don't really think about that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And you be surprised that a lot of the stuff not taught to us, not to mention a lot of the time, you don't realize how fast time passes
It passes by so quick.
You
Yeah.
don't think about it, and it's cool not to think about it for a little
Mhm.
while, but then after a while, you start realizing you have to be, for me personally, I don't feel Social Security is going to be available for me. I have to be able to have something in place to be able to sustain me in addition to the 401k, because I don't feel like Social Security is going to be around for me.
Right.
Would there be another supplement thing that maybe the government implements? No. The way that the Social Security supposed to work is that people were dying sooner or sooner than expected. And that's the reason why, like, for example, people were living up to like 50 something and the retirement was like 60 something. So it made sense that a lot of times they were going to cash out, right?
Mhm.
So there would have been a lot more money.
Mhm.
But then all of a sudden, what started happening? Medicine started getting better. So now we're living longer. And then more people are cashing in on a Social Security number than they expected to. So all the money's running out of Social Security.
Right.
Because people are still living longer. And then even though they keep stretching the age of 67, I think now it is, so whatever, you can retire at 65, but you can push it to 67. I think they're even going to push it even longer because, even people that are 60 something, they still look very young and mobile and they look great.
Right.
So I just don't feel like it's going to be for me, at least. So I have to start for me personally, start creating something else for me to be able to help me out.
Mhm.
At least I didn't think about it for a long time, but it's important. It gets to that
even
point.
after COVID,
Mhm.
what did we even get? We still had our bills to pay, but what they gave us like $400 or something. I forgot how much. It wasn't a lot.
It wasn't a lot. Not
Like
to mention,
one time, they gave it to us one time.
Not to mention, it's the crazy thing is that even though it's 2024, there was almost a whole entire year that the government said you can stay home and you cannot leave your house, and literally everybody stayed at the house for the most part, right? Of course, you have your essential workers, but you never in my entire existence did I ever think that something like that could happen, and it happened.
Yeah, but it's just like even then, it was just like it happened, but our bills still needed to be
Yep.
paid,
Yep.
which kind of opened my eyes because it was like our government and our union is not going to help us.
Nope.
So I think that was also like a driving point for me, as far as like financial literacy. And also like, I see a couple of my friends, um, they do bad investments. Like they think they know about certain investments, and then the next time you talk to them, they're like, "Oh man, I lost like almost all of my savings or whatever like that."
And you know what I liked about the financial education part is like you have to build it up to be able to get to that point, right? Because everybody, a lot of us are always about the quick buck to try to flip it like your friends and don't have everything else set up in place. Like that's why I like the financial foundation part, that you have to do it in steps. It's not overnight to be able to prepare you.
Right.
You're getting prepared as you're learning and setting it up for you to be able to do something better for yourself in the future.
Right.
Instead of hoping and wishing that you can invest this 10,000 here, whatever, and hope it flips into something better. Because you can only do it so long.
Right.
And not to mention, it's never going to be always there. Like the passive income is not going to be there for you.
Right.
So
Right.
that's pretty cool. All right. What else have you impacted you as far as financial education for you personally that you learn more, in addition to the things that you told me already?
Like the fact that, I see some of my friends, like some of them have like, you think that they're doing well. Like for instance, like I have this one friend, she would always post like her boyfriend or whatever, and they're living like a really nice life, like extravagant.
In social media?
Yeah.
Or in real life?
Well, social media.
Yeah.
So like he has like a badass penthouse in like downtown LA or something like that, and they're going on extravagant trips and stuff like that. But he ends up passing away prematurely, and I saw GoFundMe. So it's like, it's like stuff like that,
Yeah.
And then I've had some friends that were laid off, and they didn't have enough like emergency fund, and they were having to dip into like retirement plans, and sometimes people don't understand that when you do that, you get penalized.
Yeah.
But they don't teach you these things, so I think that's also important.
Yeah. No, you're right. I mean, we all want to live. We all want to live to the fullest and everything, but unfortunately, it just doesn't happen that way sometimes for some of us. Unfortunately, some of our closest people, it's gonna be a thing of life that happens. You have to prepare. I seen that too, and I think it's pretty sad that everything looks perfect on social media. They're all here and there, and then before you know it, the family's trying to scramble for it.
Right.
Where there's things that you are able to set in place, preparation.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't think about that.
They don't.
And especially like a lot of my friends, and then I've had friends, they think that they're invincible, and then boom, they get cancer.
Yeah. No, it's a deal.
So it's I think financial literacy is important, because if you don't have that rainy day, or you don't know how to, plan correctly, you plan to fail almost.
No, that is the saying, right? If you don't plan, you plan to fail.
Right.
And
yeah.
it will happen to you. Like, so there's a lot of that T knows regarding financial education to help you set up, maybe not the conventional, typical financial advisor that you might be able to go to talk to. However, there's other things that you can set yourself in place to be able to be in a better position going forward. Whatever stage of life that you're at, you need to be able to know that you have to come to that day to where you start setting yourself up for the future. It's gonna come eventually. You might be 20, but before you know, you'll be 30.
Yeah.
And you think it's a great deal that you made the milestone of 30 years old. But if you have nothing else, you have not been building anything, guarantee you that day is gonna come for you. You'll be like, oh, my 401k ain't gonna work. Oh, shit, I got laid off and I don't know what to do with this money, with 401k that I had. There's people out there like T and myself to be able to help you out, to help you prepare for the future.
Yep.
So thank you. All right, we're running short on time, so we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. But before I let you go, any shout-outs that you have to anybody?
No,
to the
not
original
really.
OG crew?
No, not really.
No?
No.
You talk to any of them or still?
Not really, no.
None of them? Okay.
I kind of segregated myself from that industry. It's just very toxic too. And then some of the people aren't like that great either.
But it comes with time and the age part too, right? That eventually all those people that were friends at one time, you outgrew because you want more. Like I know that you desire more, and maybe their mentality is not the same
Mm-hmm.
as you. So it happens to us.
Mhm.
What about your moms? Shout out to your moms.
Yeah, definitely my mom.
All right. What is it? What events you have coming up? Any events that you have coming up here in the near future, and all your social media?
Yeah, I do, but they're all private parties.
All private.
Yeah, all private events.
Yeah, can't make it.
Yeah.
Yeah, can't make it there. Sorry. All right. And all your social media. Where can they find you? TikTok, Instagram.
Mostly Instagram and TikTok. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. And they find you under.
Mhm.
Under.
Oh, DJ.T-REXX, TREXX at Instagram. And then I think my TikTok is like DJ THI REXX.
REX.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, so tell me, what is an important lesson that you learned doing DJing that you would tell your younger self that will help somebody else out? What would that be?
I mean, if it makes you happy, just do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah.
It still trips me the heck out that you had the guts to be able to like, I just go DJ. I see my homies do it. You know, just let me try it.
Yeah.
That's scary. Getting in front of people talking in the mic is scary. Getting in front of people just talking in general is scary.
Yeah, I
but-
actually don't MC.
Yeah?
Like, it's actually in my contract. Whenever they book me, I was like, I don't MC.
If you ever need an MC, holla.
Sure.
I'm one of the best party rockers there is. Or professional,
Okay.
bilingual MC. I got you. But
Cool.
my rates are higher now. Gotta pay me. Okay. So usually when I wake up or sometime during the day, I remind myself I'm not immortal. I am mortal. And I will die one day. And that's not to scare me. I got it from this guru from India. But that's more of a realization that it is a real life, right? It's a real thing. It makes me want to do stuff and hurry up and do things because I know it's a part of life, right? With that, I wish you a long, prosperous life before I hit the mic. I wish you a long, prosperous life. But with that, what do you want people to think and feel about your life when everything's said and done?
I don't know. I never thought about it that way.
Really?
Yeah, I've actually just like, I don't know, in my own little bubble. I don't really care what anyone thinks about me.
Yeah, that's true. That. Okay, and so first of all, thank you so much for doing this. I known you not that long ago, but I just knew you was dope from the moment I seen you by the way you dress. But not to mention just looking into your story, looking at the like knowing about your mom and knowing the journey it takes to making somebody from Vietnam to here, and it's crazy. It's crazy. Some of us from Mexico and South America do have a journey to carry, but living in a communist place to be able to like sneak your way out and hopefully you don't get killed on your way and just make it and then go through the long process sometimes of getting sponsored and making it over here all the way from the other side of the world. It's crazy to me. I enjoy this exchanging cultures episode because you know those perspectives I don't see or I hear or sometimes I don't even aware of them until I actually get to talk to somebody like yourself or somebody else that can tell me their journey. Not to mention just you in general about clearing some stuff up for me about how the Asian community might. I feel like I know a little bit because I've seen TV or things like that, but it's not true.
Right.
And the fact that like 14 years in the game DJing, you know?
Yeah.
And just staying consistent with it and doing your thing, I think it's amazing. And without a doubt, DJ T-REXX, you are an honorary Global Latin Factor. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you.
Absolutely. This was another episode of the Global Latin Factor podcast. Remember to subscribe. Don't play around. Don't play. We're already 3 years in. You got to subscribe right now if you type it in. And remember, we are just like you. We are humans. We are the spice in this melting pot that it is the world. Till next time, bus. I'm still getting used to this new layout. Salud.
Thank you so much for being part of the community, checking out this amazing story and this amazing episode. Make sure you go and subscribe to the channel and check out the episodes that we already have prepared for you. Thank you very much. Until next time.
What is the la vida? Walks like a pero but in fact is a flamingo.